You hand your 2-year-old a knife. A real one. Metal, sharp, the kind you'd be nervous holding yourself. And then, you turn around and let them get on with it. Now, before you call somebody, understand that for almost the entire history of our species, this was not child abuse. This was a Tuesday. For 300,000 years, nearly everything you've been told made you a good parent would have gotten your baby killed. And nearly everything that actually kept babies alive back then would get you reported today. So let's settle it. You, a modern parent, against a Stone Age one. Same job, raising a tiny human who can't do a single thing for itself. Round by round, we'll keep score. Fair warning, it's about to get embarrassing for you. But don't call the final score until the very end. Round 1. Feeding. You've got a fridge full of organic purees, $6 a pouch. You have personally spent an entire evening of your life Googling whether a baby is allowed to have a strawberry, at what age, and cut into how many pieces. Your Stone Age counterpart did not Google anything. But the part that always surprises people is that they had baby bottles. In 2019, archaeologists published a study in the journal Nature about little clay pots dug out of ancient children's graves. Tiny things, a few inches long, with a little spout, and a lot of them were shaped like cute animals. For years, nobody knew what they were. So the lead researcher, an archaeologist named Julie Dunne, tested the residue still soaked into the clay. It was milk. Animal milk. Cow, sheep, goat. These were baby bottles, and the oldest ones go back around 7,000 years. So that's settled. Their baby drank from a ceramic cow. Yours drinks from a bottle you sterilized 3 times and still don't fully trust. And when the kid got older and needed real food, there was no jar, no blender, no organic anything. Grandma chewed it. She'd take a piece of meat or a tough root, grind it to mush in her own mouth, and pass it straight into the babies. That was the food processor. It was a person. And the milk didn't stop early. The anthropologist Melvin Konner, who spent years living with the Kung in southern Africa, found that breastfeeding routinely ran to about 4 years, sometimes 5. 4. Your gym buddy thinks you're strange for going past 1. Round 1 goes to the cave. Moving on. Round 2. Diapers. Over the life of one modern baby, you'll burn through somewhere around 6,000 diapers. You will become a person who has strong opinions about diaper brands, and at least once you will be publicly destroyed by a diaper at the worst possible moment. Number of diapers used in the Stone Age? 0. They just read the baby. It's a real practice. It's called elimination communication, and it's exactly what it sounds like. You learn your baby's signals, the squirm, the face, the timing, and when it's go time, you hold them out away from you and let nature happen. No diaper. Some groups kept a backup. The Inuit tucked soft moss inside sealskin. Some Native American mothers packed dry grass into rabbit skin. The ancient Egyptians wrapped the kid in linen like a tiny mummy. But mostly you just paid attention. And the wild thing is, it works. In cultures that still do this, babies are often out of diapers by around 18 months. Some by 6. The average kid today is in diapers until about 3. So your ancestors potty-trained a 6-month-old using eye contact and vibes. You have a college degree and an app, and your toddler just looked you dead in the eye and went anyway. Round 2. Cave. Round 3. Sleep. This is the one that breaks modern parents. You've got the nursery, the blackout curtains, the white noise machine, the video monitor you stare at like it's the stock market. And when none of it works, you pay a stranger $400 to teach your baby how to sleep. Here's the problem. The thing you're trying to teach, sleeping alone, all night, in its own room, is something almost no human baby did for 300,000 years. The anthropologist Jared Diamond looked at a sample of 90 traditional societies and couldn't find one, not a single one, where the mother and baby slept in separate rooms. The baby slept right next to her, skin to skin, every night. Melvin Konner found that Kung babies were in physical contact with somebody about 90% of the time in those early months, day and night. The baby was almost never put down. And the night waking you're losing your mind over? Completely normal. A researcher named James McKenna has spent his whole career on this. Babies were never built to sleep 8 hours alone. They woke, they fed, they fell back asleep against a warm body, all night, for the entire history of the species. The idea that a healthy baby should sleep through the night by itself isn't ancient wisdom, it's a recent invention. And it is quietly making you insane. Oh, and in the daytime, the baby wasn't in a stroller. It was strapped to a body in a sling, all day, every day. And when a Stone Age baby started screaming and got picked up, it went quiet, fast. That's not luck. A baby being carried thinks it's safe, so it shuts up. Your baby still does this right now. You're not soothing it, you're triggering a reflex older than language. Round 3, and it's getting embarrassing. Cave. Round 4, just keeping the thing alive. You've got outlet covers, corner guards, a baby gate. You've read the back of a shampoo bottle like it was a legal contract. And this round, finally, is yours. Because your Stone Age counterpart was raising a soft, loud, defenseless baby in a world with actual leopards, and fire, and cliffs, and snakes. There is no baby-proofing a savanna. And this is where the whole game turns, because some people romanticize all of this, and they could not be more wrong. It was brutal. In a 2013 study, researchers pulled the numbers together, and they are rough. Roughly 1 in 4 babies didn't survive the first year. About half never made it to puberty. Half. Today, in a wealthy country, that number is closer to 1 in 1,000. So every clever trick we've covered, the bottles, the carrying, the years of milk, all of it, and the coin, still came up dead 1 time in 4. You erased that. Quietly, with vaccines and antibiotics and a hospital down the road, you took the oldest, ugliest fact in human history and turned it into a thing most parents never even have to think about. Round 4, and it isn't close. That one's yours, and it's the big one. Round 5. Discipline. Modern you is deep in it. Gentle parenting, timeouts, sticker charts, a whole internet of strangers ready to tell you you're causing lasting damage if you say no in the wrong tone of voice. So, about that knife. I wasn't exaggerating at the start. An anthropologist named David Lancy published a paper in 2016 with the unbelievable title, Playing with Knives. And across society after society, what he found is that small children, toddlers, were routinely allowed, sometimes flat out encouraged, to handle sharp blades. Among the Hadza, one of the last hunter-gatherer peoples left on Earth, babies were handed knives to grab and suck on. Another group let their kids crawl right up to the open fire and learn the hard way, which is why plenty of grown adults walked around with burn scars they'd had since they were babies. To us, that sounds insane. To them, it was a philosophy. The kid is a person. The kid learns by doing. The kid gets a small cut. The kid learns about knives. Nobody sat anyone down for a lesson, because there were no lessons. Children learned by watching the adults and copying them, and mostly by running in a pack of other kids of every age who taught each other everything. So while you're agonizing over screen time limits, your ancestor handed a toddler a sharp tool, said the prehistoric version of "figure it out," and walked off to find dinner. Round 5. Cave. Round 6. Back up. Let's count your support team. There's you. There's your partner, if you have one and they're not also unconscious on the couch. There's a group chat that sends you panic and memes in equal measure. And if you can afford it, there's a babysitter at $25 an hour who you interviewed like she was joining the CIA. Your Stone Age counterpart had a crowd. Aunts, older cousins, grandmothers, and more than anyone expects, the other kids. A lot of the everyday baby holding was done by the older children, especially the girls. When a mother went off to gather food, she handed the baby to a sister or a niece and got to use both hands like a functioning adult. The baby spent its whole day getting passed from one set of arms to the next. Round 6. Cave. Which makes the final score 5-1 their way. But you won exactly 1 round. Hold that thought. So, that's the scoreboard, 5-1, and you got wiped on style by people who thought a sharp rock was high tech. But look at the round you won. It was the only one that was actually life or death. They beat you on comfort, on instinct, on sleep, on every soft thing there is. You beat them on whether the baby is still alive next year. You're not losing. You're playing a different game, and you're winning the part that counts. So why does it still feel impossible? Because of the one round, nobody scores. They had something you don't, and it wasn't a method or a gadget. It was hands. For 300,000 years, no parent was ever the only adult in the room. The crowd that passed the baby around all day was also the night shift, and the babysitter, and the backup, all at once, and all of it free. We kept the helpless baby and quietly deleted the crowd. Then we handed the whole thing to one or two exhausted people in a silent apartment and called it normal. So the next time someone asks why you're so tired, you've got the honest answer. You're doing a job that used to take an entire village, and your village left you on red.